So, Activision Blizzard's attempt to dismiss the gender discrimination lawsuit has failed. Wah, wah, wah. This, I don't find this really surprising. People are acting like shocked by this, and of course, writing dedicated stories. Pretty much every step of the way in every lawsuit involving even a semi-competent lawyer, will move to dismiss the case like 15 times in the case. So, you just make the motion, hope the judge says yes for whatever reason, and then cool, it's dismissed. Most of the time they don't dismiss it, but you still try. It's like when you're waiting for a package and you keep looking out the window to see if it's come in the 30 seconds that you turned around and walked to the fridge. It's like, is it gonna be there? Almost certainly not. But the one time that you don't look is when it will be there. So you got to check it, Yeah, it's just interesting. Basically, the Court of Appeals ruling allows that the CRD to continue pursuing relief for the thousands of women in California who have suffered sex-based discrimination, harassment, and retaliation as Activision workers. The CDR's suit is currently pending in Los Angeles Superior Court with an expected trial date in February of 23. Those sides now are reportedly requesting it to be postponed. It accuses Activision Blizzard of fostering, quote, a frat boy culture, end quote, and was the first of several gender discrimination and sexual harassment lawsuits filed against the company. Activision Blizzard settled one with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission for $18 million back in March, and the parents of a suicide victim named in the original lawsuit asked for their own suit to be dismissed in June. Another lawsuit was filed earlier in October from an anonymous ex-employee that claimed Activision Blizzard is a massive video game company with massive sexual harassment problem, seeking damages alongside the removal of CEO Bobby Kotick, who was previously accused of, quote, knowing about but not reporting the sexual harassment allegations at Activision Blizzard. Yeah. I mean, if this deal with Xbox goes through, they'll sell it. He's going to ride off into the sunset with a huge fat stack in his pocket and be a happy camper. And that's going to be it. And honestly, I know that there's still a lot of stuff up in the air, but I personally would expect this probably goes through. I would imagine the deal goes through. Now, of course, Wall Street isn't so sold. If we look up just this, if we have this up, this is Blizzard's stock price as of right now, $72.59. Microsoft walked in and offered $95 a share. So if the deal goes through, if you own a share of Activision Blizzard at $72.59, so you bought it at this rate right now, then you will make the difference in just pure profit. So why isn't this trading at 95? Like, in a perfect world, no risk. If the deal went through in 20 minutes, the stock price would be at $95 a share, right? It would come to equilibrium because that's what the fair price would be. But it's not. It's a full $23 or $22.42 or whatever underneath that value. And why is that? Well, it's because that difference is what Wall Street considers to be the risk involved with it. And if we go back 6 months or year to date, I guess more, it's actually even further. So like here, this is when all the sexual harassment stuff started coming out. The stock price plummeted down into the 50s. And then you see they started recovering a little bit. And then Microsoft announced here that they wanted to buy the publisher on January 18th. In that day, it went from 64 and jumped to 82. So there was only a $13 risk evaluation basically. And in the time since that's happened, people have looked at it and considered, especially since like August, they consider the likelihood of the deal going through to be lower and lower and lower, which is why it's trading lower and lower and lower. I personally would expect that it still goes through, but who knows? There's a lot of very smart people who don't think it'll go through. So we'll just have to see. But like I said, if you think the deal's going to go through and you go and buy shares of Activision Blizzard with some money you have saved up, you will just like make $22.40 45 cents on each share that you own for doing nothing. Like, that's insane. Easy money. Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, they bought like billions of dollars of Activision Blizzard earlier this year, like around June when it dropped down to here. And they've been buying more recently because they're pretty confident it's going to go through. And if it goes through, they're just going to make like 20%, 30%, 40% profit. Easy money doing nothing.